Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Elite Series League of Legends Division 2 here from the English stream out of Luxembourg, you could say. With me, Fresh Tana, as the play-by-play caster. And on my side, it's Harmless Scarecrow. I hope you are fine and you are hyped for this next upcoming match.
I'm doing great and I'm super excited. Like last game was so hype. It was just a bloodbath. Both teams played so good. I'm so excited to see AOMA versus AURORA. Just excited.
Yeah, you already told those two team names. Maybe we can see the standings from those two teams. Like we have Aroma, who are sitting at place number 4 right now with 1 win and 1 lose against Aurora with 2 losers right now. But that's not to say that both teams, of course, can win this matchup. I think it's pretty even. I think both should be middle of the pack in this type of group. So they have both high chances to win their match today, and I'm really excited as well to see them playing. It should be starting soon. Do you have any favorite from those two teams?
As like you said, both of them are middle of the pack teams. So I think it's like a 50-50 who could take the W, but I think draft will decide game. Because skill-wise, both of them are very even. So I think the team who drafts better and executes their draft better will take the win.
Yeah, that's some good predictions there. Now we are in this draft, and I think we will see like the same champions like in most of those champ selects, like maybe Maokai ban, maybe even a Rice ban, Lucian Army, always a thing you could ban out. Maybe even Caitlyn, for example, is really strong. Cassandra, just some names I want to drop, but there's Wukong and Lulu going first in this gem select. And well, let's see what Aurora wants to ban next. It's
There's
Diamondinger.
Heimerdinger support, super strong right now. Has been played during Worlds, if I'm not mistaken, which made it very popular. Very annoying to play against. Good ban.
Yeah, definitely.
There's Yumi ban, also a very annoying champion to play against. Super, a lot of sustain, a lot of poke. Scales very good with a bruiser on your team. So yeah, a very good ban from Ioma. And there's the Vi ban, which we have seen last game can have huge picks followed by a Maokai, which is right now, I think, in my opinion, like one of the strongest champion in the game.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why he is out. But like Rice is still open, Lucian Nami is still open, Caitlyn is still open. And yeah, let's see which champion Aroma like prefers to first pick. It's the maybe it's the Johnny. I really like the champion just because she is flexible, top lane, jungle. I think crazy people could even flex her on the lanes as well, but usually we see her top or jungle. And there's the Caitlyn I already mentioned, together with Karma, maybe one of the strongest bot lane you can draft for just laning wise, for just pressure, for just having always a pushing side lane. Maybe with looks, it's evenly strong, but I think Karma gives Caitlyn a little bit more room to play because of the movement speed, of course. So a really strong bot lane here from Aurora.
This Ash pick for Aurora, also very strong. Could be support, could be ADC. Has a high catch potential. With the Sejuani, there's a lot of CC. Wanna see if it's gonna be AD, also ADC or support.
Yeah.
Oh,
What would you like more? But there's the Varus already being picked. Do you like support or ADC Ash a little bit more?
I personally like ADC Ash more because I really dislike playing against support Ash because it's so much poke and her ulti has like 10 seconds of cooldown late game. But there's a Jax pick. I really, really like that. I think Jax is so fun to watch. He's so strong right now since the changes with his like ulti and with scaling. He's so fun to play and he's so strong right now. Like that's also with the Karma. If he decides to team fight, he's just gonna be unkillable.
And they just want to like ban out some bad matchups, like the Fiora, for example. Just always able to repose the stun and then just run him down. So I think Fiora is definitely a good ban. I just saw that in solo queue right now. The Shy played Alistar against Jax on the top lane. Just Alistar top lane. From the Shy and Challenger solo queue. It was amazing.
Okay.
And it worked, so he solo poloed him. But it's probably nothing we will see today. But
maybe
if they want to. There's the Zac and all those like jungle champions who can go for the snow and for this new item, or even for the tank build with the tank damage build, are just really strong, like Udyr, like Sejuani, like Zac. So and there's Krakus. So maybe we see another jungle ban coming out for them, or maybe a mid lane ban. And maybe even the Ryze, because Ryze is still open, Khazad-dûm is still open. I don't know if I want to ban them or if I want to see them.
That's the Ryze ban. That's the Ryze ban. But AOMA could answer the Sejuani with a Trundle, which is like traditionally like the best matchup for Trundle and the worst matchup for Sejuani.
Yeah, definitely. You just steal the passive resistances, you steal maybe even the aftershock resistances. It's really annoying for Sejuani to play. So yeah, it could be something. But there's the Volibear. Yeah, it's Volibear jungle with Jax top lane, so a lot of engage with stuns. So Karma can stun someone, Jax, everybody who just wants to run them down and just try to hit the snares and stuff. So for those on mobile ADCs like Ashe and Varus, that could be painful, but you have always those volleys which really just stop the engage, but shouldn't, like every single volley, I think Volibear can reactivate Q every single time if he gets slowed. Yeah.
Yes,
so
if he gets CC'd, he gets a refresh cooldown, yeah.
So that could be something for them to. That's why they maybe pick up the Volibear just to have a little bit more engage against this Ashe. But I'm really hyped to see Bard where should he went? I mean, Bard was more troll hover there, and that's a lot of 80 damage. Like Chase and Yone with 2 ADCs, just Sejuani for AP damage. That's bit too much AD.
See AP Varus probably. We could see AP Varus on bot lane. Like not traditionally on bot lane, more mid lane pick, but they might swap it up.
Or just build AP anyway. I mean.
Yeah. No, and there's the Akali against Yone. We have a very fun mid lane matchup. The two assassins who are just gonna fight and fight and fight. Very interesting.
Yeah, and top lane matchup as well. Just
Jace versus
being
Jax.
A little bit more of like the one of those counter matchups with a lot of skill attached to it, because Jace usually outranges, obviously. And then if Jax jumps forward, you can always just smack him away. And with that, Jax usually can't land his stun. But if he just plays it right, you can just reactivate it while you are jumping. Then you maybe get a stun and stuff. So it's really high skilled matchup, especially in the early game, because Chase really needs to like poke him out and just do like having to win a lane. I think Chase is one of those champions. If you don't win your lane, then why pick up Chase, for example? Because he's just so reliable on this early game, like a Pantheon or something, that you really need to win with him. Otherwise, you don't have the scaling, and you don't really have the team comp as well, because it's not like the traditional poke comp, but with Ashe volleys and with 1 or 2 piercing arrows. If he maybe even goes for the penetration arrows, then you maybe have like kind of poke comp. But then, of course, if Varus really goes for 80 and really goes for penetration to go for poke Varus, then you have too much AD and probably they all stack just armor, so could be rough. But what's your opinion? Who won the draft for you?
On my opinion, AOMA won the draft. AOMA picked Jax. They're the one who picks Jax. I'm mistaken because of the 2 A's.
Yeah.
Okay. In my opinion, they won the draft because they're scaling also really, really well. And I think the Jax pick is super crucial, in my opinion. Like, he's gonna have a very rough lane, like super rough, but with assistance from the Volibear, which will just probably help the Jax run Chase down. So I think AOMA, in my opinion, has the little bit better draft also with the Caitlyn Karma on the bot lane. I think Karma is just so strong right now. Like, they will just run into them. So
Yeah.
I think AOMA has the little bit of the extra edge on them. But we'll have to see, because mid lane is very, very interesting. Yone versus Akali. Like, I think the one who wins that matchup, that lane, will have the greater chance to win the game, because Akali and Yone both have such a high solo carry potential. So we'll have to see how they will play their lane and who will be ahead earlier.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's kind of the same like in the top lane. If you get a lead, then the lane is over basically. So two really, really vulnerable lanes for both sides. So just a lot of skill, a lot of 1v1 and micro tense battles. And then bot lanes are a little bit more like just poking. And I think even bot lane is vulnerable because we have just 4 squishies. Everybody just will poke and will just go for those sneaky little trades. And I mean, this game really has the potential to just be a banger just from draft. But what a trade there, bot lane, and even on top lane. I mean, every lane is trading right now, and that's oh, he just missed the Q in the end, and with that, like, if Jax is winning the early game, then Chase has really, really a hard time.
Yeah, the Jace already used both of his refillable potions level 1. That's going to be very, very rough for him afterwards. Oh, there's heal popped from Karma. Good chunk onto Ashe. Barrier heal from Varus Ashe.
What a lane.
Yeah.
And barrier Ashe. I mean,
barrier Ashe.
Barrier for supports. I mean, I read it on Twitter that some high elo supports just go barrier against Karma to win the matchup and stuff. So actually, it's not a big surprise for me. But I mean, I never saw it in my games at least, and now there could be an engage with Volibear, but they get really poked out, and there's Sejuani from behind. Now they are flashing onto Varus, but Varus still has flash, and in the end, there's Sejuani in the backline. Volibear now without flash can maybe be killed, but so much damage from both sides. And yeah, Volibear, flashing, and there's Yone, and Yone probably could get a triple kill here. He gets 2, he gets 3. Varus in the end gets 1, but what a roam there from Yone, and that mid lane could be over just with this little roam.
Yeah, this was such a crazy, crazy play. It was so close. It looked like AOMA was gonna win, then AURORA was gonna win, and then the Yone just showed up and just took the win for them. That play, very well played. And yeah, that Yone has a huge lead now. Yeah. Nice. We have a banger here.
It just look at the items. I mean, he has Berserkers in minute 3. I mean, that's so crazy. It's one of his biggest power spikes in the early game, and he just can lane with it. I mean, that's so crazy having so much gold in the early game. And yeah, and we already talked about this vulnerable mid lane, because if you have a lead in such a skill-based lane, then you can probably snowball from it. So it will be a tough time for Lotus to bounce back, maybe. And then top side, I mean, you maybe now won bot lane, you maybe now won a little bit jungle and oh, what a stun
that's
there from Jackson. Maybe the solo bolo both still have flash. If he just flashed with the auto attack, it could be the kill.
this
Yep,
is
wonderful.
Bolo.
What a play there from Jax.
Yeah, he really played it pretty well. He waited until Jace uses his E, melee E, to push him away and then just all in him. Very well played on the Jax.
And I mean, the key is really to like push Jax away to not get stunned, and especially now with the face rush. But there could be the stun onto Varus. Is there a trap? No, there isn't. So you can't get the kill. And now Varus maybe runs down the Caitlyn with the arrow hitting. He gets the kill. Wonderfully sniped.
AURORA spot lane just showing how well they can play.
And
2v3
Kali in trouble, but there comes the cavalry, so maybe she can play it. Yeah, she just survives it with Volibear in the backline.
Like, I'm so impressed already by AURORA spot lane. Like, they get ganked, they're so low. The support survives with 5 HP. They win the trade, and then just Varus perfectly snipes the Caitlyn. I'm so impressed by this series already. Oh, and we have probably a dive onto the Jace. Never mind.
Yeah, maybe with a Volibear ultimate you could dive there, but so without, he has still a lot of potential with just jumping and knocking you back. So that's, and it's a free, so he just stacks the wave, maybe even to dive alone, but he will just probably push it out, go base, and spend his money. But he has a lot of vision around it, so he's just safe in any case. And I'm really surprised at the moment by AURORA for the whole game. I mean, they started in this league with 2-0, so maybe some people thought, okay, AURORA maybe will end up on the back places of the group, but at the moment they just impress me with this really strong early game, and just by winning all the lanes except top lane. So they really show that they can win some games in this group probably, and now they push out bot lane to maybe get to the dragon.
Yes, also Inferno Drake super strong with their composition. Like with the Varus, just they owned so much damage for so much free damage for them. Like, and they get it also for free because they just did Volibear on top lane with the dive onto Jace. Yeah. The Jace having a very rough one. Oh!
Ooh, that was close. Yeah. So both jungler did something. Like we see this crops map play, but there could be the bolo on the bot lane. They with the snipe. Oh, he misses the piercing arrow, so no kill there. But maybe you can go for Ashe because Caitlyn is still healthy, but she doesn't chase it further just because they saw Sejuani in the river probably. So no kills in bot lane. But yeah, really well played from both teams with this like cross map play. One team gets Drake, one team just tower dives top lane.
I really have to say, Akali, even though that she's behind, a little bit behind in gold, because she only has 2 kills, she's holding up very well against him. Yeah. Like, I thought Yone would start dominating mid lane, but she just also keeps on winning trades against him, or they're even. Like, it's very well played from Akali.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It just has like 2 kills, but they're still even on farm. Just played by both. So, but I really like that Chase is winning his counter matchup, and especially if you remember the champ select, you mentioned like that the team with Jax maybe even can like just win with this winning sideline, and just you really focused on Jax in your analysis, and at the moment he just sits with a really good elite there in a bad matchup and just crushes it. So I'm really impressed by your prediction skills.
Thank you. We're gonna maybe see a Jax catch here. Oh, the Jax catches the Sejuani.
He at least tries to.
He at least tries to.
He got a good chunk of damage in, but now with the help maybe from Volibear and with the sideline pressure from Jax, they could invade this blue buff. Blue buff is still up, so both junglers kinda don't want to start it. That's really dangerous to go there. And now with the teleport from Yone, probably this blue buff will be Aurora's, just because you can't really fight it in the 3v1. So Volibear just will retreat back to his own jungle.
Yeah. I'm also very excited to see which soul of dragon it's gonna be. Like, oh, we have a trade on top lane.
Oh yeah, and
the good E from Jace, very close, very close for him.
yeah, and he kinda always jumps on Jax, and with that he is just too close on him so that he gets stunned. And I think he should really play it a little bit more like from the back and just playing with face rush, because usually you can just like go in and run out with face rush. That's the reason why like Kragas is such a good matchup against Jax, just because you body slam him, hit him, Q him, and run out. And that's the reason why Kragas, for example, was banned in the second rotation, because it's a really good matchup, and it would have been the AP source that maybe Aurora could really need. So that was a really smart ban by AOMA. And we kind of see that Chase really struggles in those trades. But oh, what a knock up there with the Ash ultimate. It's an easy target, but you can't see her. And if you can't see her, you can't out-attack her. So no kill, but what a snipe from downtown.
Yeah. That's like the very useful thing with the Akali. Like, even if she gets ulted, she just pops Shroud, will not get, isn't seen, cannot be out-attacked. Like, they really have to play around that Shroud with the Ash catches, and there's a Caitlyn ulti.
Ooh, the tower life on the bot lane, missing the Sejuani Bola, but in the end still getting 2 kills, teleport. Yeah, just to be there, and in the end just 2 clean kills there for AOMA.
Yes. They're probably gonna reset now, gonna play around Drake. They really have a huge leads onto AOMA. Just top lane winning with the 2 kills on Jax. But Yone and Varus have a shutdown, and if they miss that, that's going to be a lot of gold for AOMA.
And I mean, this tower dive really like hit it even Jax hard, just because he teleported down and now lost 2 plates, lost a huge wave, and just he had such a big lead, and with just this teleport he just, I don't know, threw it away a little bit. So Jace got back into the game, and we already talked about the team draft, that they can engage with Yone, with Sejuani really far, and then of course with the poke champions you have really a solid team comp. Now we see the gold in total, and I think it's no surprise that those 2 carries from AOMA has the most gold with 5,700 for Varus, and of course a 5k as well on Yone, just because both have 3 kills. So that they are rich is no surprise, and they even go for the second track now.
Yeah. And it's gonna be a mountain soul. Very huge for their team composition, because there's just gonna be, oh, there's the tower dive on the Jace.
Yep. Okay. I think it. Ooh, maybe even something in the bot lane. Oh, it's really great Bola there, and there's the kill for Varus. Meanwhile, you maybe lose the top lane turret. You stun, you run, but you don't get the kill, and a little base race just will get played. Both mid laner don't defend those turrets. They just go for the 1v1, and Yone get the knock up even, but in the end he can't really kill her. What a shutdown! What a kill! I mean, she's like behind 3 kills and still outplays him.
Oof. But she's also had one item. Like, Yon still hasn't bought his shield bow. He just bought it right now. Oh, that was such a great play from Akali.
And now she
And
could.
almost sniped by Jay's EQ, ranged EQ.
And Lotus kinda keeps up his team with such a really wonderful play there. And even though he just got ulted, and I mean he got knocked up, but this Shroud against those like AD champions who need to auto attack, it's always good because you can't auto attack if you can't see her. So a lot of damage from Yone can't really get to Lotus, and then he just needs to like hit some Qs and in the end execute Yone. I think now it's way harder for her to win the matchup just because of the MR you already bought and because of the now bought shield bow. So probably next time it's not that easy to win this 1v1.
Yeah, exactly. And Jax just bought his Zonias.
Yeah.
That's something I did not expect to see on Jax today, but it's very interesting.
I think I saw it on LEC as well. And I mean, it definitely makes sense. I mean, you have a full AD comp, so just a little bit more armor, and you can work with the AP scaling because some of your abilities scale. I think even like the ultimate gives you some more resistances with it and stuff. So definitely good pickup against a full AD team. And then like there's a lot of hard CC, like the Ash Arrow or even the Varus ult, which if you are fast enough, you can just react with Zonias, and even after that, you can just, if you get caught out, just Zonias after that, just to maybe survive the 2 seconds longer that your team maybe gets to you. And I think the next big advantage from Zonias is something that Fizz players really like too. Just having Zonias, and then with the E from the jump, you are invulnerable. Then with the Zonias, you are invulnerable, and while you are on Zonias, your E gets back up, or I think it's the W gets back up, and then you are vulnerable again. So, and with Jax, of course, you can counter strike. After the counter strike, go into the Zonias, and if you get out from the Zonias, you have counter strike, maybe even up. So you are just really tanky with that. So it's a really great pickup from the Jax player, especially in such a matchup.
Yeah, exactly. Just was very surprised to see it. But, yeah, it's a huge value item right this game. Now just both teams just pushing lanes, trading a bit on mid lane. Oh, there was the Ash Arrow. Did it connect? No, unfortunately it didn't.
Yeah, but it's support Ash, so I mean Ash Arrow is up in no time. And I think that's the way how to play Ash. Just try to snipe someone, and if you don't land it, then just wait for 10 seconds and try to snipe the next one. It's really annoying to play against. You already mentioned it. So and even though she is like an unmobile ADC, she has no deaths. So I mean, Ash is maybe one of the easiest targets to like kill, just because your movement speed is that low. You have no fancy dash and stuff, but she just survives at the moment because she just pokes you down, and most of the times she engages, so nobody can reach her anyway. And now the dragon dance begins, but every single player is here in the river right now, and they start up. Drake is at 6k, but nobody really tries to finish him down. There's Yone on the flank, there's Akali on the flank. And now they try to engage. Akali is on the backline, but gets stunned, gets CC'd, but she still gets the perfect execution. Really well played there for her. In the meantime, even Sejuani dies. Akali at least is dead as well, but now you can maybe even get onto Ash. She's on my way, so she will die against the Caitlyn, and now there's Yone, but and he even gets the kill. but in the end, it's not enough. He will die as well. Now it's 3v1, so a winning team fight by AOMA.
Yeah, very, very well played by AOMA. Very good dive. Oh, and maybe. No, but very well played by Akali. Just took the dive, killed the target that needed to die, survived long enough. Just very well played by AOMA. But now they just take Drake.
Oh, AURORA. Oh, he gets even the Jax, but you can't really go on to him. And now the Chase just tries to do something, but against the Karma, it's really hard for him. And meanwhile, Dragon even gets taken down by AURORA, and they don't see it. It's just a clean, sneaky Baron for the Drake.
That's a good trade for now. First Drake for AOMA versus Baron. First Baron, not as valuable, but still a huge jungle objective to have in early game now. In the mid game right now. Helps them to push the wave. Just a good trade for both teams. Drake for Baron.
Yeah. And this Drake and the whole fight just, I don't know, went too long. They just couldn't really go for those recalls because it just got cancelled by the Jace. Then they wanted to do the Drake, and in the end, they just lost Baron for it. And that's really sad because they had such a good team fight there, and maybe even they could have decided to go for the Baron instead. But they went for the Dragon and now lost the Baron, sadly. And with that, we have the first really sizable gold lead with 2k now for AURORA. But that really means nothing because the game is so close from both sides. And that's definitely something we have expected in this type of matchup. And now we see maybe a catch or AURORA doesn't connect. So you can't really go on to them, but there comes the cavalry, there comes the mat, there comes the knock up, and in the end it's the kill on Karma.
No, they're just gonna push with the Baron 5v4. Super great pick for AURORA. I like how those teams, you just feel how evenly matched those teams are.
100%. And both have like those crazy outplays, like and those crazy plays in general. And there's Akali going for the 1v2, and they even get the chase, and maybe they can chase Yona as well. He still has one dash. He tries to go for the kill on Akali, but yes, he's locked in the W, so he gets stunned by Jax, but Jax can't connect him. So he will run away. Meanwhile, Sejuani on the run, and she survives as well now with the Karma movement speed. But there's the Varus ult, so no more running. Ashe ult doesn't connect, and in the end, it's just one kill. But again, really good plays from both sides, and really, really close.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Jax will probably just gonna side lane for a while. It's just such an evenly matched game. Like blue side still have bot tower, red side still has top tower. They're just so even right now in objectives. Just one Drake behind, but one Baron ahead. No, excuse me, not one Baron ahead. But they're so evenly matched. Like, it's very, very enjoyable.
Yeah, and I think in such a matchup, there could be a problem that AURORA is full AD. I mean, at the moment, it doesn't really make a big huge difference. But in the later stages, if Volibear is full build, I mean, you can't really kill him. And now he engages onto 4 people. Ults even flashes out, so he survives. But there's the Bowler, there's the Jax. He tries to do his best against 4 people, but he needs to get out. There's at least the Zonias into the counter-strike, so he survives and can jump out. But there's Akali going into 5 people, is in the Shroud, dashing out. So nothing happening there, still the back and forth, and in the end, nobody dies. Do they try to re-engage with Chase? Maybe they get something, but no, there's the Gale Force getting out, but Yone got maybe the catch onto Karma, and Karma is dead. So what a game. Just so many flashes, so many crazy engages, and in the end, just one guy falls down, and now they can maybe push as 4 people. Getting maybe this Jax, or flashing forward, but in the end, you can't really kill Jax there, but you get the mid lane turret. And with that, maybe even an inhibitor. Yeah, they just go for it, and what a play.
Move to Drake right now. I never doubted the stopwatch onto Jax. That just saved him his life. Like, stalled so much time for his team to just move forward, push the enemy back a bit, and then just such a great back and forth by them.
Yeah. And I mean, it was just really this Counter-Strike into Zonias into Counter-Strike. So strong just to survive something. Then, of course, really good traps there by Caitlyn. Just getting them out of the team fight because they can't really face check the brush. No, it's 2 Drakes for AOMA. And, I mean, just think about it. I mean, it's full AD and they stack like those mountain Drakes. And with every single mountain Drake, the armor increases. And with, I mean, Sejuani doesn't really go for the AP build or for the AP Bruiser build, for example. Ashe, okay, has some damage, some AP damage with the Imperial Mandate, but that's not enough. So they are just full AD with 2. Oh, they catch Volibear, but he is so tanky, he can jump out, and that's the whole cage. I mean, they don't have enough damage to kill the front line. Just because they all just go for those crazy armor pen items. I mean, Jace goes for full armor pen, Varus goes for full armor pen. So, and with armor, they can just, I don't know. Oh, what is my? Oh, it's so close. She survives the auto flash, doesn't connect, and now you have 2 guys in the backline. There's Ashe down already. Varus needed to jump over the wall, but gets executed as well. Sejuani now flashes out, but there's the stun, there's the damage, there's Yone dead, and now Sejuani is on the run, but in the end, there's the stun. Triple kill for Jax.
And that's Baron for AOMA.
It's so crazy.
You just see the value of those 2 mountain Drakes right now. They're just so tanky, and also just that Akali just always gets the perfect pick onto their ADC, and then Jax just follow-ups. It's so well played from both teams, but AOMA just had the extra edge. Oh, we might have a Jace Baron steal here.
Oh, Asher doesn't connect, and yeah, he can go for the shock blast, but it's not enough. Maybe he can go for the kill. Akali is a little bit deep there, but there. Oh, she needed to flash this Q, and in the end, oh, he can't even go for some kills maybe if he has enough damage. Oh, there's the jump, but in the end,
just so much burst.
What a game! But yeah, I think it's the full AD comp which breaks the neck now after so much time has passes, after so many like tank items. I mean, 2 Zonias already. I mean, almost 3 tank items on Volibear, and then all this armor scales with the mantra shields, for example. I mean, you can't really kill a target with so much armor and with like 300, 400 shields. So it's really difficult to burst those champions down, and now with the Baron buff, mid lane finally falls. And yeah, I mean, Caitlyn, Karma, what a lane to siege. So they probably can just go for everything right now. And meanwhile, you have a winning sideline. I mean, look at this difference in the top lane. 6-0 on Jax, just game winning right now. Meanwhile, Chase isn't really dead ahead. So you can just win the split push. But what a really good engage there by the Ashe, and in the end you at least get the Caitlyn, but maybe you have enough to kill some people. And Sejuani is tanky, Sejuani survives, but there is the death, and now Jax can try to do something, flashes out, Karma maybe gets caught. Oh, really good shock blast there, but Jax still survives and Karma is dead as well, and those fights are back and forth.
Yeah, it's a really back and forth matchup. Like they're just so evenly skilled. That's so interesting to see. But we see Ioma having a slight gold lead. So just that's the catch on here, Kali. Oh, okay. Scared for a second for their Kali one shot onto the Varus.
Wasn't enough. But yeah, I mean, they had Baron, they sieged, but then just what a Ashe arrow there onto Caitlyn, and yeah, if one of your carries just gets like that easily caught out, then you can't really win those fights. And I think what we saw the last couple of times is that AOMA really won the team fights by engaging or by getting the better position. For example, after Aurora tried to catch someone, but Volibear survived, for example, and then they just had nothing left, and then they lost the fight, for example. But in this case, everything like started with the catch from Aurora, so they couldn't really like get this first engage from Akali, from Jax into the backline while Caitlyn auto-attacks everybody. They just got caught, and with that, kinda couldn't really fight back. And now they even lose one more Drake, so it's soul point for Aurora, and that could be a long game. Meanwhile, good Ashe arrow onto Jax. They can maybe defend the inhibitor if they all go base now, but no, that should be with top line inhib down. Oh! They couldn't, and now there's a big knock up there from Yone, but they can't really go for those kills. They are just too tanky, and in the end, Chakras even get cancelled. There's Yone a little bit deep against Akali, but they all just run out, and yeah, just too tanky to kill the Volibear.
Yeah, it's very unlucky that they needed one more minion auto attack onto that inhibitor to get it. It's just so unlucky.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter if just a minion hits it later. But yeah, Ioma is just so tanky, just armor stacking. It's gonna be tough. If the game's just getting longer and longer, they're just gonna be more tanky and more tanky. And if they're gonna fight for their third Mountain Drake, which they should, because Aurora is on soul point, they're just gonna be probably unkillable because of their armor stats.
I really want to talk about one item because like Jax bought were bought with End, and like against a full AD team, I kind of don't see why. But in the end, still the journey has a lot of AP, and every single second hit from Yone has some AP. Even Jace deals some AP damage. So I mean, I can see it a little bit, and of course the other stats are really strong as well. But I don't know, maybe if Death Stance or something.
I think Death Stance would have been the better decision, but
who knows?
Yeah.
Or maybe even like Guardian Angel or something. Just this little bit more armor against such a team comp could quite hit the mark, but Jax maybe gets caught out. I mean, Sejuani could always just throw the bowler, or even Ashe could always just throw the Ashe arrow, but nobody really wants to trigger to pull the trigger. And now they just face check. No jump left, but they try to engage. They get the first stun, they get the second stun, but can't really get to the backline. Still surviving, but Jax gets the kill, and now maybe with the stun they even get the second one, and that's the way they need to play those fights, just by engaging on their own. But meanwhile, Yone on the side lane, so they really need to defend while they are doing the Baron.
Yes, such a great catch. Like Ioma just coming back from that early game. Like they're just coming back. They're just scaling with their champions, with their Drakes. They're just unkillable. Like
Oh, Sejuani getting in!
steal. Oh,
Oh, what a close one. Sichuani really could have stole it, but in the end, wasn't enough. And meanwhile, you at least got the bot lane turret for Aurora. And it maybe all comes down to Soul, maybe even for Eldertrack. I mean, that could really a game being played for 50 minutes or something. I mean, both teams really can win it. Both teams have the tools to engage. Both teams have the tools to scale. So that could be a long one.
Yeah, exactly. Like we predicted in the beginning, that both of those teams are so evenly matched, and they're just showing that they're just very even. So now it just comes to execution. Just taking mid turrets with Baron, Jax, side laning, standard top laner. Things.
And
Drake will be spawning soon, which will be super crucial for both of those teams.
Yeah, and it's really sad to have such a fat Jax, because on one side you want to have him with your team just to win the team fights, but on the other side you really want to have him for the split push. Ash arrow, yeah, it's just Volibear. I mean, you can't take him down with just one Ash arrow. So maybe mid lane will fall soon. Jax always trying to be there, always trying to be on the side lane. It's really close. But now he pushes it and he has still the Baron buff. Now mid lane falls and now Jax gets engaged, but wonderfully jumped out of danger. Now they even can go for the top lane inhibitor. Caitlyn needs to be a little bit more careful not to get sniped maybe. Sejuani now tries to engage, gets the big bowler down, and now they even can go for something. Yone in the backline, but can't go for those kills. In the meantime, there's a lot of damage going on to Volibear. They finally got him, but Jax got the inhib there on the bot lane. Maybe even getting...
Stopwatch.
That was a close one.
That
Just
was...
one minion.
Not even close.
Calculated.
Yeah.
And with that, they can go for the dragon. I mean, Volibear is down, so they don't have smite, so they really need to like get Aurora back from the dragon and maybe need to steal it with something else. The whole squad is there. And Aurora still has like 18 seconds, but there's the engage. Oh, Varus going into the zone. Yes, maybe gets perfect execution, and there's the kill. There's the second kill, and now the whole backline is almost dead. But Yone jumps into the backline, getting the kill onto Caitlyn. Really well played there from him, but Jax is just an unstoppable force there. Yeah. And now with the double kill, it could be over. Bot lane wave is too strong. Yone trying to kill those minions, but in the end, he will probably get killed. And there's the ace. And with that, AOMA will take down Aurora in this matchup, which was really, really close. But what a performance there from the Jax.
Yeah, the Jax really took that victory for them. Just stomped his not favorable matchup early game. Like, chapeau, it was great. Like, Aurora had such a lead early game. Their Varus was 2-0, their Yone was 2-0. There was such a great lead, but AOMA just played it so well. Got those crucial Drakes, got so much gold on their Jax. Like last fight, he just jumped onto backline and just clapped them.
Yeah,
like crazy.
And there was not really a way to kill him. I mean, you can't really kill him with Yone because of the counter-strike. You can't really kill him with Varus because even if he gets this combo off, you just go into Sonia's and then yeah, there's nothing really to be done there. And then this crazy combo with counter-strike into Sonia's and the counter-strike just making him unstoppable in every single team fight. And but it was a close one. I think Aurora had chances, and I mean they got this really clutch like Baron sneak and then even this engage in the mid lane where they really caught them at the tier 2 turret.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and I think that's a really sad ending for Aurora because they looked so strong in the early game. I mean, this this roam by Yone at level 2 or level 3, just getting like 2 kills, and then, yeah, just it didn't work in the end.
Yeah, just AOMA played it just very well from behind. Even like Akali solo killed Yone, even though Yone had a huge lead. He didn't back, didn't buy his item, and even afterwards, Akali also just showed that even though your opponent has 2 kills on you, you still can outplay him, still can get those crucial picks in the team fights, and just show that you're the superior player in that situation. So I think both of them just played very well. AURORA played the early game a little bit better. AOMA played the mid to late game slightly better, which took them to victory.
Yeah, and I don't know if the standings are ready to show, but with that, of course, AURORA sadly going 2 and is going 0 and 3 now on to place 7. Meanwhile, AROMA striking back now with the second win, just getting a little bit closer to the top of the mountain, of course. But Dynasty and Rift slots still will play today, so maybe the top is still a little bit in the far. And with that, maybe we can show the upcoming match as well. Should be Rift slots against, I think, at worst. Yes. And then, of course, Petinux. I can't really pronounce it.
Petinux Esports versus
against
Dynasty.
Yeah, and funny thing, I think Dynasty played every single time at the last match. So or at least it was on last Wednesday they played the final match, and now the final match as well. So always the Dynasty for the last. Anyway, I don't know how much of a break we will have for the upcoming game. I think it starts at 9, so we will have like a 15 or 14, 13-minute break, and then jumping right into this upcoming match at Worst versus Rift Slots. So see you soon in a couple of minutes, and have a great break.